My name is Malika and welcome to Bitesize English, the bite-sized program with a whole lot of English. Today, I want to look at the difference between the verbs to lend, to borrow, and to rent. Yesterday, I went to my sister's house. I wanted to return a book that I borrowed last month. While I was there, I saw she had some beautiful new shoes. My sister would lend me the shoes if I ever needed them. It would be better than buying or renting new ones. First, let's look at the verb to borrow. It is similar in meaning to the verb to take. I borrowed a book from my sister. I can also say, I took a book from my sister. You borrow something from somebody. However, there is an important difference between the words to borrow and to take. When you borrow something, it means that you must return the object. It is temporary. To return means that I must give it back. However, to take can be permanent. Yesterday, I went to my sister's house. I wanted to return a book that I borrowed last month. While I was there, I saw she had some beautiful new shoes. My sister would lend me the shoes if I ever needed them. It would be better than buying or renting new ones. Can I borrow them, please?
Okay.
Can I take them?
No, Malika, they're mine.
Now let's look at the verb to lend, which is opposite to the verb borrow. To lend is quite the same as to give. Remember, we lend something to somebody. It's quite the same as saying we give something to somebody. For example, my sister lent a book to me. It's the same as saying my sister gave a book to me. However, like with the word to borrow, there is a difference. To lend is always temporary. To give can be permanent. In Russian, we've got the verb одалживать, which means both to borrow and to lend, but don't confuse them in English. For example, I needed some money, so I borrowed money from the bank. Banks lend money. You must pay the bank back. A verb which has a similar meaning to borrow is rent. To rent means that you borrow or lend something to someone, but for money. For example, I can rent a bike to ride in the park. So, let's look again at today's lesson. We borrow something from someone. This is like the word take, only it is temporary. We must return what we borrow. This means that we must give it back. The opposite of borrow is lend. We lend something to someone. This is like the word give, only it is temporary. We will not permanently lend something. We know that the person will return it to us. If I don't give my sister back her shoes, I will be in trouble. To rent means to borrow or lend something for money. My sister lends me her shoes and I borrow her shoes for no money. I hope that she will not change that. So, now we know a little more about the difference between the verbs to lend, to borrow, and to rent. Why not write to us with your questions at bitesizeenglish.kz on Facebook or vk.com. Until next time, have a great one. Bye!